Hey, and welcome. Crying is one of the most human things we do, and also one of the things many people learn to hide. Some people were taught that crying is weakness. Some learned that tears make others uncomfortable. Some became so used to holding everything together that they no longer know how to let go. And yet, after a deep cry, many people say the same sentence: I feel lighter, not fixed, not magically healed, but lighter. In this video, we'll explore why crying can be healing, psychologically, emotionally, and even relationally, and how tears can become part of mental health instead of something we feel ashamed of. Chapter 1: Crying is not a failure of control. A common misunderstanding is that crying means you are falling apart. But often, crying is not collapse, it is release. Think of your emotional system like a room with pressure building inside. If there is no window, no door, no way for air to move, the room becomes unbearable. Tears can be that opening, a metaphor. Crying is like rain after heavy humidity. The storm was already in the air. The rain does not create it. It lets the atmosphere change. 1. Tears can regulate emotional pressure. When we hold back sadness, grief, fear, frustration, or even relief, the body often stays activated. You may notice tight chest, lump in the throat, jaw tension, headaches, shallow breathing, emotional numbness. Crying can interrupt that holding pattern. It often changes breathing, softens muscular tension, and signals the body that something is moving instead of being frozen. This is one reason people often feel tired after crying. Not because they are weak, but because the body has been carrying pressure for a long time. 2. Crying helps us process what words can't always carry. Not every emotional experience can be solved by thinking. Some feelings need language, others need movement, and some need tears, grief, disappointment, longing, overwhelm, love, relief. These can be bigger than clear sentences. Crying is sometimes the body's way of saying, this matters, this hurt, this was too much, this is real. And that expression can be deeply healing because unexpressed pain often turns inward. 3. Crying can be a sign of contact, not weakness. Sometimes people don't cry because they're strong. Sometimes they don't cry because they're disconnected, numb, frozen, over-controlled, or in survival mode. So crying can actually be a sign that the system feels safe enough to thaw. That is not weakness, that is trust returning. Chapter 2: Why crying can feel so relieving, and why we resist it. If crying can be healing, why do so many people fight it? Because tears are vulnerable. They make our inner world visible. And for many people, visibility has not always been safe. 1. We associate crying with shame. Many of us learned messages like, don't cry, be strong, you're too sensitive, stop being dramatic. So later in life, even when tears rise naturally, another voice appears. Not now, don't let anyone see, pull yourself together. This creates a painful split. One part of you needs release, another part attacks you for needing it. And sometimes the suffering comes less from the sadness itself, and more from the shame around sadness. 2. Crying can end emotional stuckness. People often describe feeling emotionally blocked. I feel like I'm going to cry, but I can't. Everything is stuck in my chest. I feel numb, but also overwhelmed. When tears finally come, it can feel like a thaw. This doesn't mean the problem is solved, but emotional movement returns, and movement matters. A river that flows can clear itself. A river that is dammed builds pressure. Crying is often part of that flow. 3. Tears can connect us to ourselves and others. Crying can be healing not only because of what happens inside us, but because of what happens between us. When someone cries and is met with kindness, not fixing, not judgment, just presence, it can be a deeply corrective experience. It teaches the nervous system, I can be seen in pain and still be safe. that can heal old wounds we didn't even realize we were carrying. And even when crying happens alone, it can reconnect you to yourself. I'm not numb right now. I can feel. I'm listening to my body. I'm not abandoning myself. That is a form of healing. Chapter 3: How to Let Crying Be Healing Without Forcing It. Crying is healing when it is allowed, not performed, not suppressed, and not judged. Here are gentle ways to work with tears in a healthier way. 1. Stop asking, "How do I stop crying?" and ask, "What is asking to be felt?" 1. Stop asking, "How do I stop crying?" and ask, "What is asking to be felt?" When tears come, the first reflex is often control. But instead of shutting it down immediately, try asking, "What am I feeling right now? What happened just before this? Is this sadness, grief, relief, anger, exhaustion, or all of it? What does this part of me need?" This shifts crying from problem to signal. When tears come, the first reflex is often control. But instead of shutting it down immediately, try asking, "What am I feeling right now? What happened just before this? Is this sadness, grief, relief, anger, exhaustion, or all of it? What does this part of me need?" This shifts crying from problem to signal. 2. Create safe conditions for release. You can create a safer space by being alone in a calm room, wrapping in a blanket, dimming the lights, putting on music, journaling first, breathing slowly, letting your body soften. You are not forcing tears. You are making space for honesty. 3. Let crying be imperfect. Not every cry is deep and meaningful. Sometimes it's messy, interrupted, awkward, angry, or brief. That still counts. Healing does not require a beautiful emotional moment. It requires permission. Pair tears with self-compassion. This matters a lot. If you cry and then immediately attack yourself, get over it. This is pathetic. Why am I like this? The release is followed by more pain. Try a different response. Of course this hurts. It makes sense that I'm crying. I'm allowed to feel this. This is a human moment. Tears plus self-compassion can be deeply regulating. Know when crying is asking for support. Sometimes tears are release. Sometimes they are also a signal that you need care. If you notice frequent crying with hopelessness, severe anxiety, inability to function, numbness alternating with overwhelm, isolation, exhaustion that doesn't lift, it may be a good time to reach for support, a friend, therapist, doctor, or someone safe. 6. Respect your own rhythm. Some people cry easily, some cry rarely. Both can be healthy. Healing is not measured by how many tears you produce. The point is to stop treating your emotional life like an enemy. Sometimes healing is tears. Sometimes healing is breath. Crying's one doorway, not the only one. Crying can be healing because it allows something to move that was becoming too heavy to carry alone. It can release pressure. It can reduce emotional numbness. It can reconnect you to your own experience. And in safe relationships, it can teach your nervous system that vulnerability is survivable. So if tears come, they do not automatically mean something is wrong. Sometimes tears are not a sign that you are breaking. Sometimes they are a sign that something in you is finally soft enough to heal. And that is not weakness. That is life moving through you. Are there specific topics you're interested in or a particular question you'd like answered in your life? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe now and join me on your journey toward more clarity and inner strength. Subscribe now and join me on your journey toward more clarity and inner strength.